Mexico can supply beef to the US at a free market price of $1.50, and Canada can supply beef at $2. Analyze the social welfare consequences of going from a price of $3, which is inclusive of 100% tariff on Mexican beef, to a free trade price from Canada of $2. We're going to give up trading with Mexico at the price of $3 that includes the tariff. At a price of $3, plug 3 into the demand equation and also into the supply equation, and we get 70 as quantity demanded and 30 as the quantity supplied. The imports, therefore, are 70 minus 30 equals 40. With free trade from Canada, plug 2 into the demand and supply equations, we get a quantity demanded of 80 and a quantity supplied of 20, making the imports 60. Let's introduce some jargon used in international trade: trade creation and trade diversion. We will create trade with Canada while diverting the trade from Mexico. We will increase the trade from 40 to 60. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? To stop trading with Mexico and start trading with Canada. This is creating a free trade area with Canada, prior to which there was no free trade, and Mexico, the legitimate low-price producer, would have been the source of imports. The trade then is switching from Mexico to Canada, even though Canada is the higher-cost country. Somehow, Canada is convincing the US to switch from trading with Mexico. In other words, Canada is asking for the tariffs to be removed from their products so that they appear as the lower cost country. Not truly lower cost, but it's an illusion. Obviously, you can create a free trade area with anyone you want to. So the question is this good or bad from the US perspective? The learning here is, if you believe in a principle, that principle should be applied as the golden rule. Everyone is treated equally rather than treating one better than the other. Recall in the banana trade case, Europe was giving the Caribbean a preferential arrangement, and the US was upset over this. In this problem, Mexico has cheaper beef, but Canada is going to get the preferential treatment. Consumers obviously will be happier with the freer trade, but we have to ask the question, is this truly better? In removing the tariff, the US producers will suffer. The US price is going from $3 to $2, so the US producers will lose the producer surplus value associated with area A in the graph. The domestic producers are going to cut back on their production. The old profit or producer surplus value included area A, and now that is gone, so the change in the producer surplus value is minus A. US consumers see the lower price from 3 to 2, and their increase in consumer surplus value is A plus B plus C plus D. The original consumer surplus value was the triangle above the price of 3 and under the demand curve. Now it's the area under the demand curve and above the price of 2. The change in consumer surplus value then is A, B, C, D. What happens to the US government? By removing the tariff of $1.50 on 40 units being imported, $1.50 times 40 is $60. We can scale this as millions, in which case we're talking about $60 million. So we say that the government is going to be worse off, the domestic producer is going to be worse off, and consumers are going to be better off. If the triangles B and D are greater than E, then the PTA has been welfare improving or welfare increasing. Obviously, if B and D are smaller in value than E, then the PTA has been welfare decreasing. We can calculate B and D. The base of each of these triangles is 10 and the height is 1. So 1/2 of 10 times 1 plus 1/2 of 10 times 1 equals 10. So B plus D equals 10. And E has a height of 0.5 and a base of 40. 1/2 of 40 is 20. So in this example, B plus D sums to 10, E sums to 20, so B plus D minus E is -10. The loss to government exceeds the net gain to the private sector, and therefore we have a welfare decreasing preferential trading arrangement between the US and Canada. So how should the US respond? The US should say to Canada, this is not a good deal. You have to lower your price below 2 in order for us to have a mutually beneficial arrangement. It turns out that the price that makes this beneficial to the US is $1.84. It's not very difficult. We're looking at the areas of triangles and rectangles. The end point of all of our analyses is that free trade is best.